unique way that I have met Derek is by being alerted by Experience in 1978.
We went to the pub at 8 of us. It was 11 o'clock at night. As we were walking down the street, we were nearing my house. I shout, "What do you think that is up there? Do you think it's a UFO?" At the same time, the lights started going around and they were all different colours. We were making such a racket. My parents came out and they saw it. I don't even know how long we were out there. It could have been 20 minutes, it could have been half an hour. Then it just sort of raised up, shot off at a great speed. Later on, there was a report to the radio station that somebody else had seen it. It was a clear night, there was no wind, there was no cloud. I don't even remember seeing any other people around.
You could hear your friends' voices.
Yes, but that's the only thing I could hear. You've been talking all thing and then someone says, "Oh, it's time to go now." That's what it was like. And they all just went home and I went in.
Everyone there in a state enough to all stay there in acknowledgement. So it's not just teenage boys from the pub, but to bring out different generations. They wanted mum and dad as well. The 1978 meeting point, things told me that you're connected to crop circles, that you're on a level playing field, that you're connected with the dragons, the fairies, and you remote view. I mean, they couldn't have given me a more clearer introduction to the stone circle boy.
Told you about my great grandma coming from Wiltshire when we were, and he said, "That's just you. Grandma has to come from there."
Couldn't be any other way. The dragons was a confirmation that this was going to go further. We're here to do something. There's no random. Share the info with Derek and he'll do something extra with it. And then you started sending us messages of places that you would not know that we knew about or had been to, but you were describing them to our future. You remote view past, you remote view what's happening right now, reminding me that there's no such thing as time. And then you said you were the scout leader.
From Leeds.
Of course, he's the lead scout. Entertaining, right? Derek just told me this morning and I'm just blown away. Gigi said, "Well, it is the force with you today."
This was just shortly after we were married. The psychic just put his hand on my shoulder, told me I'd meet somebody later on. It was important from Newcastle. "You're the only one who fits the bill." And I went, "I've only just got married. Why would I be meeting somebody from Newcastle?" Because I thought it was the UK, Newcastle. It never occurred to me that there was a Newcastle in Australia, because that wasn't even on the chart at that time.
That is amazing. Again, repeating to us that there is no time. This will ignite others, open their hearts so that they can realise that waiting for this build up or the big event when they will meet an ET. It happens so much all the time, and it happens again on a phone call this morning, and it happens again in a chat, and it happens again when you're going somewhere. The beings from 1978, they're not only connected with myself, but also Gigi as well. And that's amazing because now it starts the signaling, the calling. Again, repeating generations, triggering other family members. In the morning, Gigi and I are in the office having a coffee. But Gigi's saying to me, it's quite amazing how Derek's ET contact is communicating with us. We were in smiling mode. We're listening to David Mahoney that you shared with us.
Dave Mahoney, he went round the world filming all sorts of things. He collected some desert sand from the Sahara Desert. He then was talking to an archaeologist working on the pyramids in Egypt. They all went to the same place your husband came from, in where Scotia was supposedly buried. And she's what Scotland is named after. He did a ritual on the supposed tomb of Scotia. The day after, there was a mass desert sandstorm all over Spain.
Gigi and I are listening to this experience. So he had the butterfly effect, but it's still, we hadn't registered what he was talking about, more about the sandstorm. And then he said their name.
Scotia's Akhenaten's daughter. And
both Gigi and I nearly spat our coffee out. I mean, it could have been any other country. The day that we're listening to it is Gemma's eldest daughter's 20th birthday. And as we were listening to it, Gemma, who hadn't been home for 2 weeks, drives in the driveway, which we didn't know she was turning up. So it was a birthday present to have a country named after you. That's what we told her. Is that all? Where's the real present? Family has been experiencing Neff and Akem for a while, and now we understand our connection with Richard and Ireland. You don't expect to hear these things, but they just keep happening. It could have been any country in the world, but it had to be where Richard was born. He didn't know why he was keeping scent, but he kept it for 3 years. He also said that he whispered to Neff and Akem statues in Egypt 3 years ago. And as soon as he said those words, I felt a charge go through my whole body. He's having this experience 3 years ago, and we experiences in alignment with similar to those dates that he had. Now it's all playing out and linking up. He's had it happen. He's experienced it. He's acknowledged it. Derek's experienced it. He's acknowledged it. And now the expansion has happened. It's made all the information we've had, we were going like this, and now it's going like that on another plane. And like I said, it could have been any country in the world, but it had to be where Richard was born. So you can't stop the expansion. Gigi has been drawing a being. Being kept saying it was Destiny's child. After listening to David Mahoney and Gemma's birthday, we researched Scotia because our mouths were still on the ground. One of the artifacts that they found was Destiny's stone in the throne of her chair. Dream Oasis that I did with Mary. I wasn't just up in the craft by myself, it was the three of us. It was in the location that Gigi saw the two beings last night.
Dogs were growling, and there's this huge white orb hovering there, and then it made a big white flash on the ground, and I could see two humanoids my size. They had large heads talking to each other telepathically. It's like walking around, like inspecting the ground. It was like a little device. I just needed to be there to support her, to show her that they weren't there to actually harm her, but they were definitely there. What's interesting with Gigi's experience for us, beings had something in their hand, and then I realized they were following the water magnetics underneath the earth. This ET experience with Mary was all about blue vein and water. So again, the dovetailing, all this is happening. The other realm is playing out. The year I was born, Richard went to the museum in Sydney and saw Tutankhamun exhibition, and he felt ignited. Our eldest son is playing out Toots, like he looked like Toot as well. He popped his knee out like Toot. It was really stressful thinking that your family might end suddenly. They keep telling me it's not what you think. They keep telling me they're alive. As alive as I am, they're as alive as we are. When Richard came back to Australia from the UK and New York, he kept hearing my name all the time. He went in search of finding me. This hopefully will ignite others so that they can realize that this is not random. There's the agreement that you're here to do. You're here to do something.